I honestly have no idea why, but I want more of these style cameras. Just point and shoot, something that's really not thin, maybe, but just smaller profile. Don't get me wrong, I want nothing more than a battery grip, but you're not going to get that on a compact camera. Like the camera I've been kind of looking at, playing with the idea, toying with playing with the idea, is a Fuji X-T30. Now, it is to this style of body, just it is what it is. It's obviously bigger. I would love a vertical battery grip for it, but I don't think that'll happen. But it's a camera that I'm kind of thinking of because it's something I could just shoot JPEG if I want. I could choose from all those film simulations, and it would be relatively fun and reliable to just bring around, switch a couple bare bones lenses on it, and I could just have fun. I feel like the more I think about photography, the more I think of it as work, right? I can take out my 60D and put the 24 to 105 on it. It's got my battery grip. It's an amazing camera. Or the 1D Mark II. I could do that. But it doesn't make me feel anything, really. I mean, it does when I'm using it. It's like, oh, this is so cool. But am I really getting the most out of this? Or am I just wasting my own time and effort bringing along all this gear that I don't really actually need? And that is the biggest struggle, I think, as a photographer is what do you need? Yeah, my recent internal struggle has been, marry, was it? The people say marry the lens, date the body. And a lot of cameras now have IBIS, in body image stabilization. But the only issue I see is how's the reliability long term? That is the question. And I'd say it's pretty damn good for most cases. Pentax has had that in their DSLRs for like 20 years. And, Olympus has had it in their cameras for a while too. I'm trying to think of, everybody really has had that in a lot of their stuff recently. You don't hear too much of it breaking. But down the line, 20 years later, you're going to start seeing like who made a good one, who didn't make as good of one. And we still have yet to see, much like a lot of the modern cars, with a lot of, like everything's turbocharged now. We're going to have to wait and see how that lasts long term compared to like a D series Honda engine in a CRX. And that's one of my worries. I'm like, I got to kind of tiptoe around certain cameras in the market. I'm not sure if the XT30 has it or not. I don't really care that much, but it's just something that crossed my mind. And I'm like, oh, that might be something to think about. Because as somebody that doesn't have a lot of money, myself included, you not only marry the lens, you also marry the body. So we're also going to move to Utah if we're doing both of those already. But you just want something reliable that'll work, as long as the whole kit will. I hate thinking about reliability. Just, I want to buy the performance stuff, but you got to pull back sometimes. But yeah, I think one of those XT series might be good. Just the not XT. I'd love an XT4 or an XT3. But the ones that just resemble an old film camera. I don't care necessarily about the custom like dials and stuff, but having somewhere like just a touchscreen and just like maybe like a little pad to configure my stuff, I could make use of it and just use focus points or tracking, or like the controls are good enough. And that's what it really comes down to, is it's good enough. So I'm not too worried about jumping into a new ecosystem, as long as I have something that I can use day to day that is good enough. I can take it places, use it as an everyday camera. I'd still use my DSLRs for the professional stuff, but how often am I doing that? Not at all. So I'd probably just bring them into the more sketchy weather, And also, a lot of my film cameras are EF mount, so that works. I can just keep all my old stuff while embracing something new. And I always thought mirrorless was something like I should, really think about. And it is true. I think that mirrorless is great, but it's not for me in terms of all the time. It's cool though, because the more that I use these little guys, little compact camera, the more I realize this is just a mirrorless camera, and I shouldn't be ashamed for making myself like feel guilty over that. It's like I'm a hardcore DSLR guy. I don't mind mirrorless, but I was like, I don't want a mirrorless as my main camera. What do I use every day? Yeah, it's I've caught myself in this constant sea of judging myself, I guess. It doesn't have to be that way. So, yeah, I think I'm just looking for something that has a little more color to it. Not in terms of like actual color, but something that makes me look at it and feel interested all over again. Like buying a guitar that you actually like playing. It's one thing to just buy a guitar. It's like, yeah, this is a nice guitar. But when you look at it and it makes you want to pick it up and just take it outside, I don't really have that in a lot of my cameras except for the little point and shoots. So maybe having something that's a little bit like a giga point and shoot would help. And also shooting JPEG is something I've been more curious about. I'm fine with shooting RAW. I shoot RAW all the time usually, but I don't really care anymore. I just want to take photos and enjoy the world around me. So, is that something to do? Maybe. It's a tougher camera world out there than ever. Well, I guess I gotta go and look at the used market now.